CEU's approach to teaching and learning public policy differs somewhat from many other policy programs because of its strong focus on the voluntary sector.
The Department of Public Policy at Central European University is an institution of advanced research and teaching dedicated to socially and morally responsible intellectual inquiry.
So DPP is a multidisciplinary department and it's a multidisciplinary degree. And so when I'm teaching a class in economics, my objective is not to turn the students into economists, but more to make them think like economists.
Development is clearly a challenge that our students want to address. They want to understand what is the roots of the problem. They want to understand what's possible solutions to the problem. They have to kind of learn from policy experiments in other parts of the world and then to see how could we put into place, how could we find prosperity, sustainable development.
We try to bring the world in our classrooms, so we conduct a lot of case studies and simulations where we assign real roles, stakeholder roles to our students, ask them to think about their incentives through the prism of their own role and what their contribution to that particular development problem is.
We deal with global problems through multidisciplinary study of public policy, innovative teaching and research, as well as meaningful engagement with policy practice.
Teaching at CEU and at DPP in particular is very interactive. So in my policy analysis class, for example, we try to apply the theoretical lenses and concepts in student-led modules in each class.
As a master's student at a Master of Arts in International Public Affairs program, I value hard and soft skills. For the hard skills that I've learned throughout the programs, these are status skills and RStudio skills, and for the soft skills, I really value group work because I really think that it's a vital skill for surviving in the interdisciplinary context of modern work.
One thing I really enjoyed about the class formats was the diversity in teaching approaches. For example, one class I really enjoyed was equality policy, and we were able to not only do the sort of research component of the course, but also hands-on policy practice, discussing different issues and also working through solutions.
A lot of places in the world will advertise themselves with saying, oh, we're so international, and then they have maybe 20 nationalities represented in their team. At CEU, we have over 150 countries. That was, to me, completely unfathomable.
In my experience, the most important characteristics for students entering the program are curiosity, open-mindedness, and a high level of motivation.
Student input in our classes should not be driven by rehearsing the readings, the theoretical bits and pieces that they should learn, but actually trying to apply what they've read to something they observe themselves in reality, have experienced in their previous professional lives, and then apply and illustrate the readings through a case.
I was lucky enough in the scope of the Policy Lab class to work with Habitat for Humanity. We create a housing framework for the organization. Apart from that, I work with the Amnesty International on their human rights education program and offer them evaluation of the program. And I think that this is very unique because I'm specializing in education policy, and at the same time I'm very much interested in practical skills. So I think that after graduating from the CEU, I will be taking with me not only the theoretical knowledge of how complex the policy environment is, but also some skills that I can transfer right away from classroom to the work environment.
The most valuable part of my experience was working with the client themselves and learning about how they design policy research projects within their organization, as well as the different outreach methods they have to promote different policy recommendations related to social welfare.
Our students choose various career paths after graduation. Some of them decide to work for international organizations that are key players in the field of international development, World Bank, UNDP, the European Union, etc., while some prefer to work for their national government and be involved in domestic development policy making.
Evidence-informed, rights-aware policymaking is a prerequisite for liberal democracies to thrive. Only then policymakers and the general public can make well-informed policies and choices for a more prosperous, open and inclusive democratic governance that respects human rights and human dignity.